So far in this video series, you've learned a lot about how fiberglass pools are made. You've learned about the mold, you've learned about gel coat and all the steps we go to ensure a durable finish on your pool, and you've learned about why we use vinyl ester resin to prevent your pool from ever getting osmotic blisters. Well, today, my friends, we're going to build out the bulk of your pool. We're going to give it some strength and flexibility using Polyester Chop. I'm Christian with River Pools. Welcome to our new plant. This is episode 4 in our new series about how fiberglass pools are made. All right, my friends, at the end of today's video, you are going to know 3 big things. Number 1, you're going to know what Polyester Chop is and where it's used on your pool shell. You're going to know how it's applied and why we choose it over other material options. And lastly, you're going to understand and know the standards we have for the resins we use. Let's get into it. When we're talking about building the bulk of your pool to give it strength and flexibility, we're talking about this material right here. It's really the 3rd layer of your fiberglass pool. After the gel coat, after the vinyl ester chop layer, then we begin to use polyester chop to build out the bulk of your pool. Now, we're actually using chopped fiberglass, and I'll show you precisely what that is just in a minute. We're using chopped fiberglass in with the vinyl ester resin layer right here to begin adding strength to your pool, but the bulk of the work is done by the polyester chop right here and throughout your pool. We provide a uniform, even thickness throughout the entire pool shell to make sure your pool is as strong and as durable as it can possibly be. Polyester Chop is the combination of polyester resin and chopped fiberglass strand roving. Yeah, I'll clean this up. So polyester chop is the combination really of 3 different materials. Polyester resin and chopped fiberglass strand roving along with catalyst. All 3 elements are brought together at the point of the chop gun, mixed in the air simultaneously just before it hits your pool. You can see the strand roving now leaving the spools on this pallet, traveling across the boom as it goes to the chop gun. At the chop gun, there's a cutter wheel with multiple razor blades that are going to chop it into small sections. So, chopped fiberglass strand roving. Again, it starts in a spool like this and gets chopped up at the chop gun to look like pieces like this. This is the material that actually is applied to your pool, but what you need to understand is that there is an ideal ratio between this material and others when it comes to building fiberglass pools. There are other material options, so Christian, why does River Pools choose to use chopped fiberglass as its main bulk for building out the laminate of the pool? The other options are using a woven roving. Now, we are the only manufacturer in existence that began as an installer. We installed fiberglass pools for years, and throughout that time, we had the opportunity to partner with and install pools by several other manufacturers and brands. Some manufacturers choose to use varying ratios between chopped fiberglass and other fiberglass materials like woven roving. What we have found over the years is that pools that are built predominantly with woven roving instead of chopped fiberglass as the main material tend to turn out a bit too flexible for our liking as an installer, and challenges sometimes arise during the transportation, handling, and installation of the pool. So, after all those years of installing, we decided to begin manufacturing our own pool to the specifications we had always wanted to see as an installer. And we find that pools that are made predominantly with chopped fiberglass to build the structure of the pool have a perfect blend between strength and flexibility, allowing us to get that pool set quickly and level it out easily. The next thing on our list today is to go check out the resin and explain our standards for polyester resin used on your pool. It feels like we might have to go on a bit of a mission to actually find the resin to talk about it, but we can at least start here at the pump that sends it to the chop gun. This device right here, this little machine, will pull the resin in and the catalyst and send it directly to the chop gun. We're just going to have to follow these lines back to find the resin itself.
Target locked. Mission complete.
Whew. Well, now that we found the resin, you can see that big tank that we keep it in. Let me explain two standards that we have with the River Pools way of manufacturing when it comes to our resin. Number one, we are going to use the highest grade available to us, and we're not going to apply a filler for the sake of stretching the material to save costs. And number two, we do not apply pigments to our resins for the sake of making the outside of the pool shell have a more aesthetically pleasing look. Quite honestly, we're perfectly happy with that reddish, brownish, not very appealing color that resin naturally has on your pool shell. There's a very good reason for that. When the chopped fiberglass is applied, sometimes bubbles can form as the curing process begins. It puts off a lot of heat, and so little bubbles can form up. Well, with the resin in its natural color, we're able to see those bubbles, roll them back out so that the laminate, all of those materials can be properly adhered to each other. As opposed to when bubbles form, well, you're essentially kind of making Swiss cheese and you're not making a very solid laminate schedule. All right, my friends, this brings us to the end of video number 4, and let's just kind of recap what you've learned today. You've learned about polyester chop, and you know exactly what it is. You know where we apply it on your pool and why we choose to use that over other material options. You also know what our standards are when it comes to the resins used to build your pool. The next video, episode 5, we're going to talk about where and why we would use woven roving in key areas along with honeycomb structural support to add strength to your pool in key areas. I'm Christian with River Pools. You are a little pool wiser today, my friends. Catch the wave. Action.
Not that way. You want me to do it?
Yeah. I actually like that. That was really good.
Battle! Ready, go. Oh, yeah. Llegale, más cerca. Okay. Cara de aquí. That way you say the practice, right?